Hello, uh, welcome to Yes We Canine. Uh, I'm calling this episode 0. In my pet parent journey, I always kept on sort of, uh, Googling stuff about the well being of my pet, Bira. Uh, but the articles or the videos that we come across are pretty much sort of from the Western world. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but they're in fact they're one of some of the greatest and well made and well researched videos and articles out there. Um, but the practical approach is always missing from an someone for pets who are in India, based in India, living in a metro with confined space. This podcast series is sort of going to aim at tackling that issue and hopefully put content out there that's far more informative and practical at the same time. uh, I just wanted to put out the episode 0 before waiting any further so that it at least gets me going. I hope it sort of preps you up uh, about the intent that we have. I'll try to be as clear and as concise as possible. So yeah, let's begin. And yeah, so before that, this is, like I said, this is my first podcast. I've never done anything like this before. So please give honest feedback, but try to not be just harsh for the sake of it. uh, it's 2020 after all. The year has been harsh to all of us. So let's just be there and be there for each other, and keep loving each other and spread a lot of positive vibes. Okay, let's begin. So who is this? uh yeah, this is Disney's Pluto, Mickey Mouse's dog. He's cute, he's kind. But do we actually relate to him as the ideal dog, or like, is dog the first thing that came to your mind, or is it like, okay, it's Pluto, is so cute, so kind, always tongue out, happy, smiling, right? That sort of emotions, correct? This, on the other hand, this is Butcher. He's the quintessential Disney villain. He represents danger, right? He is, whenever he's around, the atmosphere sort of becomes like very pretty much sort of danger, and he's out there to kill, right? Like, look at his body language also, right? And dog, yeah, I don't know. So they are always sort of fighting each other, right, for the bone. And the bone here that's there in Pluto's mouth, and that's actually Butcher's, and Butcher wants it and all that. So that's how the story goes, right? But the truth being, pit bulls, sorry, my bad, bulldogs, they are one of the most snuggliest of cuddliest of beasts out there. Like, they, in fact, it's advised that if you want your dog to be a couch potato, just to sort of snuggle and cuddle you while you sit, watch your favorite TV show, then you can get a bulldog. And they are pretty much manageable in a single household. uh, they have got like a lot of breeding issues earlier, like they because of the history of the breeding and all. It's a pretty they share a pretty sort of sad history per se. On the other hand, Pluto, that is a hound mix for sure. uh, that itself has, like, the popular opinion is that itself has some kind of aggression traits. So, and in fact, they are one of the most active, they are one of the most hardworking breeds. And because it's a mixed breed, uh, so if you see, it's actually the opposite, right? the characters that we just attributed to them, it just completely stands, exactly the opposite. And this is exactly the sort of problem that we face in when we try to understand animals. The one thing that is single-handedly sort of stopping us from understanding animals is the first thing that we do is attribute human characteristics to animals. And because we have been sort of fed with Disney, since our birth, and the kind of imagery most, I think all of, yeah, I think most of Disney characters, our favorite characters, are animals, and they have got some kind of human attribution, which is wrong, because I mean, it's fine for entertainment's sake, but when it comes to an animal's well-being, you can't just say an animal is a human being, and if you start treating animals and human beings, then the whole veterinary science, there won't be any veterinary science. There will be just one common thing. They're biologically, they're different. They're a different species altogether. Like, the entire animal kingdom is so vast, and Homo sapiens is just like a fraction of it. Maybe in population we might be one of the biggest, hugely populated, but as a species, we are like not even, it's like even a dot. Like this, the animal kingdom is a sea and ocean. So it's just, I just found it ridiculous when I came across this, right? That how can Homo sapiens, who is like a drop in this ocean, sort of think that the entire ocean is actually a drop. This is that um, uh, the frog in a well mentality, right? We tend to think that this is our world, but yeah, sadly, Mother Nature does not agree. We are in the animal kingdom, and animals are animals. They are not anyone else. Like, for example, this, where you see this picture, you don't think of a character, right? The first thing that comes to your mind is horse or a snake. So you don't see this and you say, oh, hey, this is Robert, this is Santosh, this is Tommy, this is Chintu. It's a grasshopper, right? So same way, like when you see this, I mean, the logical, the reasoning, is that it's an animal first. Second, it's a canine, right? The family is canine. It belongs to the family of wolves and foxes. And then it's dog, which is its species. And then its name, which is its Pluto. In fact, when you see a human being, that's how you deduce, right? You don't just see a stranger and you approach a stranger because that stranger is a human being, and you sort of relate to the race, the color. I'm just going by the popular opinions, and you tend to see, okay, is the guy from India? Oh, is the guy Maharashtrian? Can the guy speak Marathi? Oh, great. Then you start a conversation with the guy. So I mean, but when it comes to dogs, or cats, the first thing that we do is we sort of give them a human trait. We start treating them as babies, right? But the fact is, these babies, they are ferocious, right? They are descendants of wolves. Like, historians and researchers, what they have sort of found out is a pack of wolves, when they wanted a relaxed life, they didn't want to go there and hunt, because the climate was not conducive. They were not getting enough food in the jungle. So they started sort of to self domesticate. They started to domesticate themselves, and then they started to come around the human settlements, and they got free food from, because humans were like, there was no refrigerator, right? So uh, humans used to eat all those flesh and put the bones and all the organs, right? Heart, liver, and all that, they used to throw it away because they were not as sort of delicious as the meat. And these uh, wolves, pack of wolves, they started eating it, and they started rummaging through those garbage, and that's how the first set of wolves domesticated themselves. And uh, it's being agreed upon that it has been thought the other way, that humans started to look for wolves and then look for friendly wolves and then started to domesticate them. But no, but the fact is that sort of been debated on. And because wolves were actually competitors for humans when it came to food, right? Both sort of reside in the same strata in the food chain. And when they were so there's no way that uh, a competitor would let its competitor, like a wolf, would ever let a human being sort of to domesticate itself, right? Unless and until it itself wants to get domesticated for its own benefit. So that's how the sort of this entire cycle started, and it goes to 100,000 years ago. And that's the relationship between canines and humans that has sort of shaped our evolution. Yes, this tiny little predator, right? This tiny little carnivore is sleeps on our bed along with us. That's how they have survived. They have just survived by being friendly. By they with their puppy eyes, or their sort of gesture, their way to work for us. That's how they got their food. That's how they helped human beings in their everyday hunting and all, and that's how they survived, and that's how they evolved with us, right? And we have also sort of utilized their abilities. We have created different breeds. We have mixed their DNA, and created. We have played along with the genetics, and we have actually created breeds to help us, which are today known as pedigree breeds, right? So the whole motive behind this podcast, if I can just tell you in one sort of a word, is that we don't know dogs. How much ever we'd like to believe, we don't know this little sort of predator that stays with us in our own house, shares our own food, eats out of our own plate, sleeps on our bed. We we think that we know them, but the fact is we get dogs to sort of uh, you know um, fulfill one of our human needs that we expect from humans and we don't get back from humans. That's why we go to dog. But and in the way it has harmed dogs, it has in many way people are still sort of scared of dogs. Like scaring of getting scared of dogs is legit. Pets are not allowed in 99% of places in India. And there are news every day of animal abuse, especially dogs, how dogs are being abandoned, beaten up. uh, there are some rescuers who are sort of doing so much, and they're trying their level best. Every day I have like got some rescuers on my Instagram who keep putting up these posts of how you take care of animals, why you shouldn't be scared of dogs. Rather, uh, I'd like to correct myself, why you should know dogs so that you shouldn't be scared of them, right? So this is the sort of one singular intent to spread awareness about our canine companions and help us know them better, because there's this quote that I came across. uh, what we don't understand we fear, what we fear we judge as evil, what we judge as evil we attempt to control, and what we cannot control we attack. So the motive is to understand our canine companions better, to help our pet parents, my fellow pet parents, to sort of uh, grow with them and take care of their well-being, understand them better. And trust me, when you understand your pet, it opens up a different world altogether, right? So I hope this was kind of informative. It was very broad. I hope it wasn't too vague, but I hope the intent came across well. This is Payal, that's me, and that's our pet Bira. And we'll be sharing a lot of personal insights and a lot of personal experiences. Yeah, and hopefully we will get this, we'll get to create a platform where a lot of pet parents come and share their own journey. That's it from me, and hopefully I'll put up the next episode soon. So keep smiling, keep loving your pets, and see you soon. Bye bye.